to improve human health by accelerating the growth of life science tools and diagnostics companies. We launched in 2021 and had our very first cohort. And you can see a very lovely picture from our finals that we just had this October. And so 2022 will be our second cohort. So let me start also by talking a little bit about what it means to be powered by MedTech Innovator. So MedTech Innovator actually started in 2013. So we've been in operation for 10 years. We've graduated a number of cohorts. Our background has always been in medtech, so medical device, digital health, and diagnostic companies up until, again, this past year when we introduced a new track for BioTools. And so over the course of this 10 years, we've graduated 420 alumni companies. Of those, 95% are still in business or acquired. And I think, I would like to say that we've had a good impact on those companies and helped them continue to be successful after graduating the program. Altogether, our alumni have raised about $3.5 billion in follow-on equity funding. So as you'll hear later, and we'll keep iterating, as MedTech Innovator as a nonprofit, we don't take any equity in the companies. There's no participation fee. So this is all outside investment. And you can see it's been pretty exciting over the last year. About 1.5 billion came in over 2021. So we're not quite at the end, but it's a pretty good year so far. MedTech Innovator is a virtual program, so BioTools is as well, but we do give out incubator spaces to companies that need them. So with the partnership through J-Labs, we have given out 21 incubator awards. And a couple other things that I wanted to point out about the success of our alumni. We've brought 90 products to market and had 21 acquisitions. And there's one last statistic that I'd like to talk about, which is the 1,800 that applied in 2021. So MedTech Innovator is very good at sourcing companies and bringing them visibility. And a lot of that happens through our application process. So when you apply to MedTech Innovator or BioTools Innovator, in this case, your application is going to be seen by some experts in the industries. And these experts can give you feedback. And also, if you don't progress, through to be part of the program, there are still some really great outcomes that can come from just the application process. We've had companies that have had an investor that was part of our judging panel reach out to the company directly and want to invest in them or be a partner, join the team, whatever it may be. So just by applying, you are taking a very important and potentially valuable first step. So with that, I want to bring up one more slide that talks about MedTech Innovator. We have 3 programs that are going on simultaneously. So our MedTech program, BioTools, which is what we're here about today, that's our life science program, and then MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific, which is focused on medical device, digital health, and diagnostic companies that want to market in the Asia Pacific region. So let me now shift over to talk completely about BioTools Innovator for the rest of today. And with that, I want to bring up our program director, Ayelet Marone. And so she will tell you a little bit more about the program.
Hi, everyone. Catherine, for some reason, I'm not able to start my video. You should be able as a host to let me start my video.
Oh, let me see that. Okay,
sure.
Let me see if I can do that. Oh, well, we can
well, in the meantime,
yeah. So I figured that out.
Yeah, sorry about that. So in the meantime, we'll start talking about BioTools Innovator. So as Catherine mentioned, this is our second year in operation. And these are very exciting times for us, kicking off our second cohort. So a good way to start would be telling you a little bit about our inaugural cohort. We had a really fantastic year. Last year with our first cohort. These are, you can see here, the companies that we had participating in the accelerator in the previous year. We'll talk a little bit about what kind of technologies were involved in the program. But a little bit before, just to give you an idea, we started out with almost 160 applications, out of which we screened really the 10 best-in-class companies in that space that were part of the accelerator. We gave out almost $250,000 in cash prizes during the program, the majority of which, of course, went to the grand prize winner. And our companies in the inaugural year had $32 million raised in equity funding. So with that, oh, now you can see me. Okay, great. So hi. So as Catherine said, I'll just jump back and say, my name is Ayelet. I'm the program director for BioTools Innovator, and happy to be here today to talk about it. So one of the questions we get is sometimes, am I a good fit for this program? What exactly are BioTools and what exactly do you focus on? So I think a good way to go about that is tell you some of the technologies that were in the cohort last year. So for example, we had Seldom, one of our companies that is developing a platform for single cell analysis that combines a high throughput single cell analysis that combines transcriptomics and proteomics. We had different companies developing kits and reagents, for example, Clara Biotech and Kino Discovery that are developing kits for exosome isolation or single cell isolation from tissues, respectively. Glyphic Bio, one of our companies that is developing a next-gen sequencer for proteins. In a single molecule sequencer, elemental machines that were more on the IoT and cloud side of things, helping support lab operations. And I'd be remiss not to talk about our inaugural year winner, Machine Bio, who are developing a disruptive technology for single-step cell-free protein expression. And protein synthesis. And Machine Bio team will actually be here today with us to tell you a little bit about their experience in the program firsthand. So you'll get to see them later on. So that was a little bit about the program, and I hope that gave you an idea of what kind of technologies we're involved in, what we're looking for, and we'll talk more about what we're looking for towards the end. But before we get there, we definitely want to say something about our founding partners. So when the program was founded, our two founding partners that are really involved in the program, not just financially supporting it, but also involved in terms of the selection process, helping us with the diligence process and understanding who are the companies that are best suited for the program, as well as working with the companies throughout the program. So our partners are Research Corporation Technologies and Broad Oak Capital Partners. And they will be, if you'll be accepted to the program, you'll get to know them very well as part of the mentorship in the program. And we're very thankful to them for their part in the program. So a little bit about the process to give you an overview of what is the process like for the selection to the program and during the program. So our online applications are now open, and we'll talk towards the end on how you can apply and what that looks like. But our deadline to apply is January 31st, so definitely make sure you get your applications in on time. The highest scoring applications through the online review process we'll select up to 60 companies that will be invited to pitch as part of our pitch events. We'll talk in more detail about the pitch events and what that looks like, but generally after the pitch events, we will have a selection committee and decide who are the 15 accelerator companies. This year we are growing to 15 companies, who will be the 15 companies to participate in the accelerator. During that accelerator, while companies are going through the program and are being supported, they are also undergoing a diligence process so that we can decide on who are our 5 finalists. And of course, at the end of the process, the culmination of the program will be the capstone event in which we will select the grand prize winner. And we'll talk more about that as well. The other thing we wanted to talk about mainly and importantly is that while we have a cash prize for the winner, this really is just one aspect of the program, and we really like to think of ourselves as a part of an important part of the offering. And so the other resources that are offered to the startups in the program, I would like to go over these with you. So starting with an educational curriculum, one of the important things we do is we have cohort-driven webinar series. And so what that means is that during the program, we survey our companies that are accepted into the accelerator and really target the challenges and gaps that they have specifically. And based on that, we design our industry panels, our workshops, and really try to target those questions that they have and target the challenges that they are dealing with at that moment. So we really base our webinars and our speakers on that. We also hold office hours and ad hoc workshops based on the challenges that we see. The other important aspect of the program is the mentorship, and this is really, I think, the major part of the program. We start early on with feedback and pitch coaching, and it starts really even as early as our pitch events, which are very heavy on feedback and provide multiple opportunities for companies that are pitching to receive feedback from our partners, from investors, from strategic partners that are part of the events and part of our judging ecosystem. And continues when, of course, when you're in the accelerator program with pitch coaching and more. The other aspect of it is that our partners, for example, Research Corporation Technologies and Broad Oak Capital Partners that we've mentioned, and others, of course, are providing or contributing their time to one-on-one mentorship throughout the accelerator program. And this mentorship is really goal-driven and really customized to the startup. And so we work with each startup on what their goals are during the program, and that goes into sort of their curriculum with the mentors they work with. And of course, as needed, we introduce startups to additional subject matter experts. So for example, if a startup is having challenges or questions about IP issues or regulatory issues and so on and so forth, then we introduce them to additional subject matter experts during the program. Resources and funding. So like we said, we talked about the non-dilutive prize funding, but moreover, we want to help companies, get to their next funding round and help them close their next funding round. And so one important part is really the opportunities to meet and receive feedback from investors and other business development representatives throughout the program during our events or other opportunities that we provide to the companies. But it's definitely a big part of the program. Community is another strength that we really want to highlight in the program. If if any of you were ever a part of an accelerator or a similar program, you know the importance of peer networking. And so both in our MedTech Innovator programs and in our inaugural year in BioTools Innovator, we definitely make sure and facilitate the peer networking. Our companies are definitely supportive of each other, and some of the most important things that you'd learn would be through your peers. So you can collaborate on different topics, and that can, range from hiring and resources and to discussions about specific investors you're working with, and so on and so forth. Part of it is also part of our community extends beyond your peers, of course, in the networking events throughout the program, both in the pitch events and the capstone event and in our summit, to have the opportunity to network and discuss your company and your offerings with our network. And that can be strategic partners, that can be investors, that can be customers, and so on and so forth. And of course, our alumni network, our extended alumni network at MedTech Innovator and BioTools Innovator are, of course, there to be part of your support system. Lastly, we talked a little bit about this, but recognition and visibility. So really part of the idea in the program is to make sure that we provide you with visibility, and we give you the opportunity to be showcased. So that's going to happen during our events, where you have the opportunity to showcase, for example, in our final event. And then, of course, really the program is designed for us to highlight the best-in-class companies in that space. So part of that is really giving you that visibility and that kind of honor. Lastly, I want to say that BioTools Innovator, just like MedTech Innovator, is a nonprofit that I think Catherine also mentioned. So always very startup friendly. There's no equity or participation fee or application fee. So we really encourage everyone that thinks they are a good fit to apply to the program. One other important thing to know is that we are agnostic to location. So most of our program, our accelerator program, is actually virtual. The in-person events, and again, this is, of course, we're still in a pandemic year, and so this year remains to be seen what's going to happen. But tentatively, we are planning on having several in-person events, our pitch events, and our final event and our summit. So hopefully this is something that can happen, but if not, we of course go back to the virtual format, as was in some of the events last year. And we've also talked about the customized program for early stage companies. We'll talk a little bit more towards the end about what does that mean and what does early stage mean for us. So we'll talk more about that. Some program key dates for you to know and remember. So we've said it before, and we'll say again, January 31st, the application deadline. We definitely encourage everyone that's planning to apply as early as possible, because we are actually starting our review process earlier in the timeline. So you get the chance to have your application reviewed before and notified. Between March and May, we plan to hold our pitch events. Again, this is a little bit tentative this year, whether it will be in the in-person format, which is the current plan, or we'll have to default to virtual. All depends on where we're going with COVID. After the pitch events, our partners and us and additional experts that we invite will help us decide who are the companies based on those pitches, and the feedback that you'll receive will help us decide who are the companies that will make it into the cohort for 2022. And in late May, we will be notifying and selecting the companies that will participate in the cohort. The virtual accelerator program will be between June and mid-October. And we talked a little bit about what that means and what goes into it. And in mid-October, the program will culminate in the capstone event, where companies will have the opportunity to showcase and we'll have the selection of our grand prize winner. And we'll talk a little bit about that event as well in a bit. A little bit about our pitch events. So what we call the road tour are 3 pitch events that we are planning for the BioTools program this year, the first of which will be during March. The highest scoring companies from the online review process will be invited to pitch in front of our judges and extended network. You can see here just a few of the organizations that were involved in judging and providing feedback to our companies in our inaugural year. And we plan to continue that format. And we'll also have multiple opportunities for companies to pitch and to talk about their company and their technology, not just one pitch, but rather we'll give them the opportunity to discuss with different partners and different judges. And so the first one, as I said, will be a virtual event during March of 2022. We'll have one West Coast and one East Coast event, again, tentatively, of course, and hopefully we can hold them in person. A little bit about our final event. So these are just some fun pictures from our final event last year in October. You can see here some of our winners, and the event was in collaboration with Thermo Fisher. So we had great opportunities for networking and showcasing during the event that was held in Carlsbad and was co-located with the Cell and Gene meeting, the meeting on the Mesa. Tentatively, we will be doing a similar thing this year, but like I said, remains to be seen. And I'm not sure if we have, Catherine, do we have Machine Bio team with us already here? Because this would be a wonderful opportunity to tell you. Here you can see the team at Machine Bio. This is the company that won our grand prize in the inaugural year, and we have them, I think they're here, to tell you a little bit about their experience in the program and what that meant for them. And they'll be here if you have, questions about their firsthand experience. Do we have Machine Bio here already?
I haven't seen them logged in yet.
Okay, we could jump back to them in a little bit when they join us.
Okay.
So we'll get back to them in a little bit.
Sounds good. Meanwhile, I think I forgot to mention before you continue, Ayelet, to our attendees, if you guys have any questions as we're going along here, we do want this to be interactive, so feel free to drop them into either the chat or use the Q&A, and we can get to those as well.
Thank you, Catherine. Definitely start putting your questions in. You could either raise your hand or type them in. We're happy to take some time to do that later on. So we'll continue talking a little bit about what we're looking for and what the selection process would look like. And so, are you a good fit? This is, I think, the most important question that most people have. So what we're looking for, really, you can see here the 4 areas of technologies that we're looking for. So starting with research products and instruments. So this can be kits and assays, reagents and instruments that are used in R&D, whether in corporate settings, in academic settings, in manufacturing, and so on and so forth. Diagnostics, just 1 second before, sorry, I will say that these are mostly technologies or products that typically are not FDA regulated and have a shorter time to market. Diagnostics, we're also looking for diagnostics companies that, again, on the molecular side, really kind of the tests, the assays, maybe the instruments on the diagnostic side. And many of these products will be FDA regulated. And we will, of course, based on how many companies or if we have companies that are diagnostics and are dealing with FDA regulation, we'll of course bring those resources to the program to help them with their current milestones and future milestones, of course. The other area is R&D and manufacturing services. So if you are a company that that provides services in manufacturing or to pharma companies in terms of, developing a platform that is used for R&D or manufacturing. And lastly, any technologies that are really enabling drug discovery or the development of drugs or the delivery of drugs. So in that one, I do want to say that if you are developing a drug specifically that's, for a therapeutic area, this is less likely to be a good fit for the program. But more so if you're developing a technology that enables drug delivery or drug discovery. And so that's more or less, what we're looking for in that area. Here you can see, I'm not going to read them all. You can look at them here and on our website, but some of the strategic interest areas, some of the applications that your technology can go towards. So for example, cell and gene therapy or automation or protein analysis and so on and so forth. Of course, if you have specific questions, if you want to know if your technology is a good fit, you're more than welcome to reach out to us, and we'll definitely help you understand if this is a good fit. I want to talk also about what that means in terms of the stage of development. So acceptance to the program is dependent on the stage of development of the startup. We are focusing and prioritizing on early stage, but what does it mean to be an early stage? And we definitely, but by saying that, I don't mean that we exclude mid-stage, because we did have, for example, last year, we did have a range of development stages and funding stages, but we do prioritize early to mid-stage. So what we're looking for are companies that are not so early on that it's just an idea at this point. So we are looking for companies that are a little bit further along, have some sort of prototype or are well on their way to get there to their prototype, or have some proof of concept evidence, some evidence in the form of maybe customer discussions, maybe experiments that validate that technology, something that would show the definite need for the technology and the feasibility of that technology. We are looking for companies that you don't have to be incorporated at the time of the applications, but incorporated at the time of the starting date for the accelerator, which will be June. We're looking for companies that have raised between seed up to Series B. You don't have to have funds raised, but we definitely are looking at prioritizing companies that have some sort of funding, and that can be also grant funding, and that can be friends and family and whatnot, and can have some resources to execute on the milestones that they have and the advice that they get during the program. And that goes also into my next point, that we are looking for companies that have that runway to execute on what we can help them with during the program. I can see we have the Machine Bio team jumping on. So let them all join and then have them talk to you. And like I said, again, you could be pre-prototype or have a prototype, but be at least well on your way there. We do also want companies that have a team that's dedicated to or committed to working on their technology. By no means it means it will be their team also moving forward or always, but definitely someone that can work and act on the feedback provided during the program. We do ask that you commit either a co-founder, CEO, or a senior member of the leadership team in your program, so that we can work with you and really help and help you during the program. I think I'm going to let the Machine Bio team talk to you a little bit. So I see Alex and Naman here. Naman is the COO at Machine Bio, and Alex is the head of product development and business. So I'm going to turn off my camera and let them give them a few minutes to tell you about their experience in the program, how we were able to help them, and then if you have any questions for them, they would be here to answer. So Naman and Alex, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
And we can hear you. That's great. Let's see if we can promote you to co-host so we can see your faces maybe. Let's see.
There we go.
There we go. Fantastic.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I'm the CEO of Machine Bio, and I've got my partner, Alex, on. I know David will be here in a couple of minutes, but, quickly want to kind of talk about our experience in BioTools. First of all, this program is very awesome for all stages of companies, but primarily, companies that are in the BioTools space where the space wasn't there before. A lot of these accelerator programs focus on therapeutics or health tech, but to have one specific to BioTools is extremely helpful for positioning a company in the space. So outside of, winning the non-dilutive funding, which is very helpful for us, which we are, a pre-prototype company. So we didn't have really any revenue. We've been early funding with like family, friends, and angel investors. That $200,000 was very helpful. But even outside of that, the experience of meeting our cohort members, learning from other entrepreneurs who are, down the path to commercialization further than we were, was very helpful for us. And in the sessions and the webinars, got us connected with other companies like CDMOs, got us connected with financial services like Carta. There's a lot of opportunity here, and I highly suggest, making sure your founding team is involved through the whole process, because there's a lot here that you can unpack and implement within your business. So Alex, do you want to add anything else to that?
Yeah, sure. I cannot share my video; it won't let me. But hello, everybody. I would say, it's probably no exaggeration to say that, being a part of this program and winning this program this past year is one of the best things that's ever happened to our company. It's really been transformative, being involved with the BioTools team. And like Naman said, really the access to the cohort, we still talk to these guys, anytime we're ever in town, we're going to, go see them and meet with them and, spend time with them. They're all good people. And like Naman said, they all have, various years of experience past us. We happen to be one of the earlier stage startups that was participating this last year, but, through the program, meeting them and being able to pick their brains and just get to see the steps of someone who walked just before us has been very, very helpful for us. I know we have David now here as well. I think.
Yes. Hey, everyone. Yes, like Alex, I'm not able to share my video, unfortunately, but it's great to be here. Very exciting to come back. Oh, okay. It may work now. Let's see. There we go. Hello. But yeah, so, BioTools was huge for us. Alex and Naman already spoke to it a lot, but, one thing that I'd really highlight is that, for all of us as entrepreneurs, things aren't easy. We need information, we need capabilities, and we have to go out and find these things for ourselves. And, that's what we do. It's part of the game. But every once in a while, an opportunity comes along that just makes it so much easier. Like, with BioTools, every week it's, 1 week it's product development, another week it's marketing, every week we're meeting with our mentor, and just all these connections are just happening. You have to take advantage of them, but these connections are just being fed to you. And that's just a very special experience that can really change your company and just completely change your trajectory. It's very much worth taking advantage of. We can tell you from firsthand experience, it can really impact the growth of your company.
Thank you so much, Naman, David, and Alex here. If anyone has any questions to the team at Machine Bio, feel free to put them in the chat. They'll probably be here with us for a few more minutes, so you're welcome to take advantage of that. But really, thank you, guys, for jumping on. And again, we are so super proud of Machine Bio and the team for winning the inaugural year, and definitely happy to have them as the face of the program. One thing I wanted to jump back to is just to say one thing I forgot to mention is that one important focus of the program and what we're looking for are technologies that can have an impact on human health. So it's definitely okay if your platform can have applications in in other areas, such as agriculture, for example. But we are definitely looking for technologies that can also have an impact on human health. So just as a side note for you to know, this can also help direct you in whether you're a good fit for the program. Let's jump to how to apply now. So how to apply? It's very simple. You would go to our website, biotoolsinnovator.org. You should get to this page. And then if you go to the apply button or go to the apply page, you'll jump to the application page. This is the screen on the right that you would see. This is a registration form. If you don't have an account with us yet, or if you do, you can just log in there for all three of our programs, MedTech Innovator, Asia Pacific, and BioTools Innovator. During the application, you will be asked what program you're applying to. And if you do want to apply for more than one program, by the way, you would have to create two separate applications. Reach out to us if you want to do that, because we could probably help you make the process a little easier. And so now I am going to try sharing my screen. I want to make sure we have time for Q&A, but I did want to show you briefly my screen with the application page, just to give you an idea of what to expect. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, I'm unfortunately not able to do that. Catherine, you might be able to share your screen with the application. But if not, again, feel free to reach out to us and ask questions. If you have them, it's a pretty straightforward process. You'd be directed to the first part, which is just user registration, then questions, the application itself, which are questions that are product focused, and we'll touch upon different areas of the product and the company, from product description to customer discovery to funding and to your milestones and so on and so forth. And from there, you'll jump to the last part of the application, which is the uploading of files. We ask that you upload at least one file of pitch deck or executive summary, any supporting documents that you might have that will help us in the selection process, and will increase your chances of being accepted. So this will be the last part, and then you can submit your review and then submit your application. Catherine, are you able to share your screen to show that?
Yeah, let me see. I'm trying. Sorry, I'm still trying to bring it up. Okay. I think I've got it here. Oh, actually, maybe a couple more minutes. Maybe in the interim, Ayelet, we have some Q&A questions. Do you want to go through those? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with one question. Can one startup company apply for multiple BioTools? So short answer is yes. Our application is product focused. And so if you are developing several products that are significantly different from each other in a way that would be best reflected in the application, describing it describing product differently, but also, the target market and the different applications. And so definitely you can apply for multiple BioTools. You can apply several times. You also need to think about if your product fits also into MedTech Innovator. And so if you are applying to the different programs, I would suggest, even if you have specific questions and if you like some guidance on that, feel free to reach out to us and ask, but short answer, yes. Catherine, anything to add on that I may have forgotten?
No, that was perfect. Yep.
All right. Another question that we had coming up. Can you talk about mentoring relationship? What kind of person was your mentor and how? Oh, I think that's a question for Machine Bio. What kind of person was your mentor and how did their relationship help? In addition to the network, can you talk about the impact of this program across access to manufacturing, engineering, design, relationships and strategies, key opinion leader access, IP strategy, access to capital, and board strategy. So long question. I'll let David jump in a little bit, and then I'll add some on our end. Go ahead.
Yeah, great question, Sheila. A lot there. I'll try to cover most of it. So mentoring relationship. People. Different companies have different mentors. Our particular mentor, was a managing director at a tools-focused VC firm who previously had experience as an executive at Thermo Fisher. So he helped us with all sorts of areas of our company, fundraising strategy insights, go-to-market plan, and keep in mind the people that you meet through BioTools will give you much better insights for things like go-to-market plan, product development, and such than you will at more generalized biotech incubators, because you'll get a lot of it's different for us versus if you're making, say, for example, a therapeutic. Engineering, design relationships and strategies. One of the seminars, BioTools puts on multiple seminars throughout the accelerator in addition to the mentor relationships. One of those seminars is specifically focused on product development. They brought in, experts from a couple product development firms, and we're actually in talks with one of those firms right now to help us develop our product. And we learned about them through BioTools, and we're able to initiate that relationship pretty quickly. As members of, having been a part of BioTools. Let's see, what else? Another thing too is just understanding the processes associated with bringing a tool to market, or the relationships that you need to build. Like, we've developed relationships with, some of the big players in the tools market, people who could be partners or, even acquisition partners down the line. IP strategy, I see you mentioned. We didn't touch on that a whole lot, but we were also pretty solid there already, at least for what we're trying to do with that at the moment. But there was also a dedicated session for that, so that's addressed. And I could go on, but I think I've said quite a bit. So could come back with a follow-up question if there's anything in particular you're curious that I didn't cover.
Thank you, David. And I think just to kind of jump in on and add on that, I think one important thing that David said in the beginning. There are different mentors for different companies, and there's a reason for this. It's not random. We definitely want to make sure that the mentors or mentors, depending on the needs in the company, that we match with you are people that can help you. And so if companies are in a specific field, we try to bring the people that understand that space, that market, that or other challenges that the companies might face in the different stages, and we try to bring the people that can help them. And so I think in their case it was someone that could help them. In other cases, we definitely try to bring on people from our network that would be best suited to help them, and that can be on the investment side, and that could be on the manufacturing side, and that can be on the product development side, and that could be on the customer discovery side. And so we try to make sure that the mentorship is really helpful and tailored to what you need at that point. In terms of the other areas that you mentioned, so one of the ways we address questions and challenges that companies or gaps that companies have in these areas is through our industry panels that also David mentioned. These have been very curated to work with the specific questions of our companies, as well as very interactive. And we, as you heard from David, we also introduced these people to those panelists and experts to our companies so that they can continue to communicate after. And as you've heard, they continue to work with them and help them. And so hopefully, this is what we're hoping would happen. And definitely the development of these relationships is an important thing that we hope the companies take away from the program. Catherine, anything else we want to add on that?
No, I thought that was great. One of the things that I will just, I guess, add in general, when we talk about mentorship, it's really important to come in with knowledge, with an idea of some of the short-term goals that you want to accomplish. And because what we want ultimately from this program is for you to walk away with some tangible benefit, that we've had some impact on you as a company, and we've helped you answer some critical questions that you might have.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's see, we have a couple more questions here. Is an electronical medical diagnostic device like a handheld medical scanner eligible? I'll let Catherine jump in on that as well. But I think, I think off the top of my head, I would say this sounds like a better fit for the MedTech program, even though we don't have all the details. Catherine, you want to jump in on that as well?
Yep, I think that's right. Your intuition there is correct, Ayelet. That one sounds more like it's a device type company. So, for BioTools, just keep in mind, this is more things that are kind of in the life science space that are enabling technologies, like machine bio, which is a new way of synthesizing proteins that's more efficient. They're not regulated necessarily. And it really is a way of kind of enabling us to do science that is, better, faster, cheaper in a way, but also kind of arrive at solutions, that can be therapeutic, but that themselves are not therapeutic.
Thank you, Catherine. And we can also jump on that next question. So that's also a specific question. Is an AI-powered smart vaccine vial monitor eligible for this? Off the top of my head, I would say that this does sound like a technology that can be a good fit for the program. Of course, we go through the application in more details, but as far as I can tell from the short description, the answer should be yes. Let's see, do we have any more questions? No, I don't see any more questions coming in. In the meantime, I think we have a couple minutes, so I'll just bring up one or two more things. One is that we do have an FAQ document on our website, so you can feel free to go ahead and look at that as well. Look at the common questions that we get, and moreover, of course, at any point, if you have a question, if you would like to approach us and ask anything, feel free to do so. My email is right here at the bottom. Ayelet@medtechinnovator.org, and Catherine is Catherine@medtechinnovator.org. Feel free to reach out to us. We're also, of course, on LinkedIn and Twitter. I will add in just a brief question that I know we typically get from applicants, question about time commitment. So we have been asked in the past, what is the time commitment that we need to have for this kind of program. So I think a good way of estimating the time that you will spend. So during that 3.5, 4 months virtual accelerator program, we do have almost a weekly webinar or every other week, a webinar which is an hour long. And we do provide another 30 minutes for our companies to have a private conversation with the panelists as well. And then you can sort of budget for another 1 hour a week with your mentor. Sometimes you will have more than one mentor, depending on your needs, depending on your specific challenges. And so that might be added on as you need it. But I would say that's a good kind of rule of thumb as to how long, what is the time commitment that you'll need to have during the virtual accelerator program. Let's see if we have any other new questions before we wrap up. We are developing a new type of blood bags, but they need FDA approval. Are we qualified? Catherine, you want to jump in on that one?
That one sounds like it would be more a device solution. So I would refer them over to our MedTech program. And you can find info on that at medtechinnovator.org/apply.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. And so we're at the hour. So I'd like to thank everyone again and wrap up with a reminder of the one sentence I think I said about 10 times during that presentation. Our application deadline is January 31st. So make sure to get your applications in. We are really looking forward to seeing what companies will apply and what companies will be working with during 2022. And good luck to everyone. And thank you for your time.